Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hey everyone, welcome back to Late Night with Cap or late night with Cap. Sorry about that. We were just having a fun conversation with my guest backstage and just lost in the moment there. Do apologize. But yeah, we have a pretty cool guest coming on soon. And we have some fun topics to talk about. Obviously, we're gonna do some bad graphic design. He's coming back for round two. I don't know who likes to come back and look at bad graphic design, but they seem to like it. And then we have an interesting story about the most, I would think, the most famous hat in U.S. history. So yeah, we're gonna talk about that, and then we may share some other goofy stuff about Bigfoot. But I really just want to bring on one of my earliest guests. It's almost been a year since he's been on before, and he was one of my first guests. And I do appreciate all his support. And we're gonna bring on the great one. I would think the greatest artist in the Twitterverse and Instagram world, and out there in Japan, uh, Jinja Ninja.
Hey, how's it going there? Hello, everybody.
How are you?
Doing all right.
Yeah.
It's been a year.
Almost a year.
Yeah, the
That crazy?
the
You've got
well,
the, you've got the beard going.
the beard's going on now, but I think there's a little bit less hair going on up here. I've seen some aerial footage of the noggin, and it's not looking good.
Oh, okay, okay, huh. Well, it's great to see you again, and,
Yeah.
you've been busy, the last few months, um, doing all kinds of things. You've done comic books, you've done
Yep.
shows,
hmm
you've done
Uh,
Comic Cons, all kinds of things. Can you kind of describe your year in the last, like, 11 months?
yeah. Okay. So I basically what I think the one of the big things that happened that kind of got the wheels rolling was I hired an art consultant, because one problem that I have is I'm very I want to do everything. I want to try my hand at everything. If there's a medium out there, I want to try it. If there's like an artist that's doing some kind of technique, I want to try it. And I find that I kind of lose focus on what I'm trying to on. I need to focus in on one thing. And so I hired an art consultant for about half a year to help me kind of get everything organized, and we were trying to figure out whether or not I should try to do fine art or whether I should go with comic art, or whether I should do both. And he basically got me on the path. He's like, "You need to do comic work. It's something that you're really
Yeah.
happy with. It's something that obviously you have an audience for it." So he said, "What you need to do is in this next year, um, do everything and anything that you can that is related to comics." And so I took him at his word, and of course, I was working on the comic book at that time, but then I just started applying for comic cons here within Japan. Um, I I have a friend who deals comic books as kind of like a hobby, a side gig, and he introduced me to a person who runs a thing. It's called Brave and Bold, Japan Comic Artist Expo. I got in I don't Whoa, that was last year. It feels like it's been like 3 or 4 years, but it's all happened with 1 year.
Isn't
So
that
much stuff has
crazy?
happened. Yeah.
Yeah, you've been, like I said, you've been a very busy person.
It kinda scares me. I'm like, "Did I burn out? Like, did I go too quickly at the beginning?" But no, I think it's a good thing to start off like that. Just try to do everything that's possible. You gotta get your name out there. You gotta get, people, uh, aware of what you're doing, and so I did the Brave and Bold Japan Comic Artist Expo, and I met a person there who was going to Tokyo Comic Con, and that got me hooked up with
Mhm.
Tokyo Comic Con, which got me hooked up with Okinawa Comic Con, and that led to Yokota Comic Con, Osaka Comic Con, and then so
Wow.
yeah, it's all been Japan, it's all been Japanese related stuff. But my goal now is to
So many
I
cons.
think the advantages of being over here and working here is I can speak English and Japanese. I can relate very well with the customers over here, and the Japanese customers are really, really great about supporting their independent artists and creators. Um, so my next goal to push myself to a higher level is to try to go international. So I've applied to yeah,
There you
that's
are.
from Osaka Comic Con. Yeah, yeah, that was and
That's
my
a really cool photo, by the way, because 'cause you've got your Jinja Ninja banner back there, which
yeah,
is behind you currently.
yep,
Uh,
I did put that up during all my live streams, you know.
I think it's very cool, like, you look like you enjoyed yourself there.
Oh, yeah, I love it. As soon as it's finished, I'm like, I want the next one to like, I want to be doing the next one right after it's. As soon as the bell goes off and it's time to clean up, I'm like, I'm ready to do another one. I don't want to like, and in Japan we don't have them as many times as you do in the States. Like definitely, like we hardly anything at all. The only two big ones we have are Tokyo and Osaka, and then Okinawa Comic Con. Now things are starting to pick up a bit here. So now
Okay,
Okinawa was only for one day for, and it's been going on for a while now. It was only one day, and now they're making it a 2 day event.
okay.
But unfortunately, and I hope that they can try to rectify this, is they have Tokyo Osaka Comic Con and Singapore Comic Con and the Brave and Bold all going on at the same time, the exact same dates.
Oh,
So
wow.
they need to get together, and because Singapore is a pretty big one as well. They all three need to get together and just kind of like go, okay, hey, let's make these separate because yeah, it's not it doesn't work well if you've got everything going on at the same time. You're
Yeah,
gonna lose clientele, you're going to, especially, like, not just clientele, but you're also gonna lose, like, artists such as myself who want to participate in those. So,
right.
I don't know, but that's a good problem to have,
It is.
Yeah,
It's a good sometimes it's a good problem to be
yeah,
busy as an artist, right? Because
yep,
there are
yep.
those artists out there that are really talented and maybe they're not getting the work or being, shown what
Well,
they do.
I appreciate the fact that that I don't have a whole lot of well, I mean, I have a lot of competition at these, but, I've got, like, Peach
Mhm.
Momoko, sorry, Peach Momoko. She's like the biggest artist here in Japan. She's always at the conventions. She works for Marvel. She's worked for DC. Ryan
Okay.
Benjamin, he worked with Jim Lee. He's worked with David Finch. He's worked with the big guns. He's
Well,
worked for Marvel and DC.
you've done your own comic book.
Well, yeah, I've done one, an independent comic, but the goal is to,
Maybe
do
do more.
something more on a regular level, a regular
Well,
not level, I guess. Yeah.
you can notice it's right there back
Oh,
in
there it is. You got the black and white version there. Look at that.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's a good
I've
book.
never seen that.
Really?
I've yeah, I've only got the colored version. I've never had the chance to see the black and white version.
Oh, yeah,
Well, I've
it's
seen it, like, on video, but not, like, in hand. Yeah.
yeah, it's pretty clean. It's a good book. You did a great job with the artwork. I know it took you, a good amount of time to do, and most of those
Yeah,
drawings you
yeah.
did on stream on your channel, so
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It took up a good chunk of time, and, I mean, am I completely satisfied with something? I'm never satisfied with anything. I do a picture and I look at it, like, for, like, 5 seconds, I'm like, "Ooh, this is nice." 5
right.
seconds later, I'm like, "Yeah,
Well,
oh well, next
you've
time."
got some advice in the chat for you.
Oh,
One way to help, Beard of Liberty, he's a fellow beardo. He
mhm.
tells you, tell people that your hair didn't fall out; it migrated to your face.
Exactly, yeah, yeah, exactly, yeah. And I'm sure that the migration will continue to, ensue.
He did approve the beard. The Beard of
Well, thank
Liberty
you.
did approve the beard there.
It's
He's a well qualified beard person out there.
There we
So
go.
you
Yeah,
get
I
his approval. I mean, he does it. He does it while he's mowing.
Has he been working out?
Yeah,
Look
he's
at
working out.
there. I can't say that I have. I'm working on a six-pack. I've got
Okay.
1 out of 6 so far. I'm hoping the other 5 will just come around, you
Well,
know.
let's go ahead and say hi to everyone. We got Miss Cannoli's here. She's saying hi to
Hello.
Aldo and everyone else she said earlier. We have R2 the Icky here. Always good to see him. Let's see. And then we also got Ubaldo. Good to see you. Pop My Culture is here. Thanks for stopping by. Mr. Cannoli Sasquatch, he's here. He always likes the
Hello.
Bigfoot segments that we do.
Yeah, yeah.
He tries to explain his ancestors. But yeah, we already said I already yes, I know I was late. Thanks for that I was late. But yeah, and so before we get started, some of the shenanigans here for the show, um, I wanted to show a more recent thing you did in oil.
Oh, yeah, go for it.
And this is one that you posted on Twitter. This is Batman. I thought this was a really good rendition
Oh,
of him.
yeah, I've got that right here, actually. So this is a commission from a young lady, Japanese lady. She's a huge comic geek, and they're here in Japan, and there's a lot more here than a lot of people are aware of. Um, and she was she loves Batman, and she was like, "Could you do me an oil?" Well, first she did. She's a YouTuber, and she did like this video introducing artists from Osaka that are going to be appearing at Osaka Comic Con,
Right.
and she's like, "Could you send me some photos of work you've done, and I want to put you in the video?" I was like, "Oh, sure, no problem." And then I watched the video, and like she like did like a really huge, introduction about my work.
Oh
Like,
wow.
yeah, I was like, "Wow." And it was kind of focused on my work, and I was had no idea that it was going to be that way. And then she came to Osaka Comic Con, and I gave her a piece, like a print that I did, a linoleum cut as a present, as just as a thank you for doing that, because that's free publicity for me, and I'm
Yeah.
really honored for it. And then it's the first time this has ever happened. I don't know if it's gonna. And it's funny because it happened again another couple of, well, it happened again at the Osaka Comic Con, but she actually started crying. I was like, "Oh,
Oh geez.
wow." I was like, I didn't know my artwork had that kind of impact on people, but I was just kinda like, a bit shocked, but, pleasantly shocked. And then,
Hmm.
she's a huge Batman fan, and, so she wanted, a Batman, commissioned art piece, oil painting in the
Right.
style of, Frank Miller's Batman. She wore the gray and blue suit, so this is the
It
actual
looks
painting
great.
itself
Yeah, it looks here,
with
let
the
me
varnished, and I've actually changed my signature. I've been like debating on like whether I don't put usually don't put my signature on my pieces, but I've been really wanting to do something.
that
And
looks
this
cool.
yeah, it's kind of like it's in Harris in Japanese, harisu,
Yeah.
and it's kind of like a callback to ukiyo-e prints and stuff like that. And it looks a lot better with this varnished on there. And
Hmm.
I changed the hand uh, uh, from the picture that I put up. I changed it afterwards because I wanted to have it look a bit more rough, like it's been in a battle there.
Yeah, it is a little different, but it looks great, and I'm sure she was very thrilled that
Yeah,
she
yeah. This one's on the same, like I did this at the same time. The Guardians of the Galaxy. Somebody wanted that done as well. So these are going to be sent off in the mail tomorrow. I'm sending these off. I just finished these and was waiting for the oil to dry so that I could put on the varnish.
now.
So these will be
Do
sent.
you take a picture of those and then save them somewhere?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. For most part, sometimes I just forget to, because this last Comic Con, in total, I had a total of about, I think it was 64
Wow. Is
commissions. So
that your
I'm still
most
trying to
ever?
finish them. Yeah, yeah, definitely. Without like completely, like I think for Tokyo last year it was 45, and Tokyo Comic Con we had about close to 70,000 people there last year. Osaka Comic Con, this was the first ever Comic Con in Osaka, so I was lucky enough to be a part of that. We had about 54,000, 58,000, 54 to 58,000 people. I can't remember. Um, but I had uh, yeah, way more commissions, more revenue, and
Great.
it felt more lively than Tokyo. I don't know why. It was just like there was a really good vibe there. Mind you, Tokyo, the vibe there was great, was awesome, and Osaka was just as nice. But Yeah, yeah, but the thing that I've heard, which kind of makes me a little bit hesitant about, paying all the big bucks to go across to the States to go do Comic Cons, is I've heard from artists who work at Comic Cons in the States and stuff, it's like, yeah, you sell it seems like that it's a lot more valuable to come across all the way over to Tokyo and to Japan to do Comic Cons here because they make better money here, so but
In
still
Japan.
yeah, yeah, but even with that said, I found that a lot of the work that I've been selling, has been going to, customers from, the States who have been really interested in my work and they wanna support me, so I don't know. I mean, because I do a lot of work on YouTube and on Twitter, and I interact a lot with my audience, and
Yeah.
so it makes me wonder what it would be like to actually take part in something in the States. So that's something
Well,
it's my goal, yeah.
which one would you wanna do first? Like, if
Well,
you had
see,
an
I
op
applied for the one in Dallas, but by the time that I applied, I was already on a waiting list, so, I didn't make it to that one. I've applied to the one in Boston, which
Okay.
is in April 4th to April 6th, um,
Of next
and
year.
still yeah, I've paid my dues for it, haven't heard whether or not I've been accepted or not, and I've been really, like, I've talked to other artists, it's like that's kind of the thing, if unless you're a huge big name artist, if you're just a person working at the artist alley, you have to wait and find out. It takes a while for you to find out. Um, but yeah, so I'm hopefully like every day I check my mail and haven't got a reply yet, but hopefully August I'll be stateside working at the Comic
Yeah,
Con there, which
that'd be
which would
cool.
be a great experience. Um,
Yeah, that would be cool, and, it would
yeah.
be neat to kinda come back to the States a little bit and,
Oh
do
yeah,
some
yeah.
sightseeing.
And I know some people over there in Boston. Eric
Yeah.
O'Sullivan,
Yeah.
Thomas is over there. I believe Sporking is in the vicinity.
Yeah, you can have,
A
like, a mini, ninja
meetup. Yep.
Jinja meetup. Yeah.
Oh no, definitely. That's the idea. Like I think I mean doing this YouTube stuff is great and all, but meeting people in person to me is so much more valuable.
Mhm.
Just to be able to shake hands and say hello and
Yeah,
that's
I would agree. I would agree. There's some
oh
cool
yeah.
people that I've met in person that,
Oh yeah. Yeah.
that you find out, they're they're sort of the same person that you would see on online. So,
Right, right.
and that's good.
This is
Um
pretty much me. There's
Yeah,
not
so
a
you've had
bad
like I said,
jokes.
yeah, bad jokes, crazy hair, and,
Yeah,
really good
this is
talent.
what you're gonna get.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So again, if you all of you in the chat, if you, haven't heard of him before, you can definitely follow him at Twitter. I put his stuff in the description. You can definitely find him there. He's also on Instagram. He does post a lot of his artwork there as well.
Yeah, yeah, I
Definitely find
use
him.
Instagram kind of as my portfolio. I used to
Yeah,
have a web page, it's down, and I just can't try to find the time to bring it back up again, but, yeah,
yeah. Well, you're doing a
Instagram
great
is
job without it, so I think
well,
you're fine.
yeah.
Yeah. So, now, like I said, it's been a year since you've been on, and we've had this show has progressed throughout the year as well. We do
Yeah, yeah,
funny
it does,
segments,
yeah.
all kinds of stuff. So I got a new one that I'm
Uh-huh.
trying out for everyone,
Yep.
and it's called "As Seen on Cap." So, do you golf at all? Do you golf? Do you play
I do.
golf?
I
You
do. Funny, I've got, well, I don't know where I've placed it, but the marker is a Spider-Man one.
okay, do you have a similar putt putt golf like this in your house?
No, I do not. No.
Okay, well, there's something very special with this one. Very special.
Okay.
What would you guess that you can use this around?
I was gonna say it looked like a baby's bib.
Sorta, sorta.
But it almost
Now
looks like a toilet cover as well.
you are absolutely close on that.
Oh,
Very
really?
accurate. It is a putt putt golf for the toilet.
Oh, there we go. Hey. I
So if you
could use
wanna,
this.
yeah, you could if you wanna practice your putt game, you can definitely get this product out there. Just do your business and practice a little bit.
Well, I mean, I guess if you're doing a number 2, it technically is a hole in one, right?
Yes, 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 yes. It comes with its own little, putt there, and putter, and then you got a ball, and then you got a little hole that you flag that you can aim.
Yeah.
I think this would be pretty valuable.
Oh,
And
yeah.
if you're interested in buying one, they're about I've seen them as high as $20 on
Oh, that's a deal if you ask me.
eBay. Yeah, there's some out there. Some are $16. You can get some used ones for like $5. Would you use a?
Oh, yeah, there might be a little bit of brown or yellow on the court, on the grass. You might wanna avoid those.
Yeah, yeah. So, I definitely, this would be a fun thing to have in the house. Or, instead of being on your phone or you're reading a book, you could definitely do something like golf.
Oh, JT, just to give you a little, heads up, I sent you something in the private chat there.
Okay.
Yeah, just have a look at it if you don't mind.
Oh, is something my volume going up and down for you? You said.
Well, it goes kinda, like, in and out. I just didn't know if it was, something
Oh,
that you might be able to correct. I don't know.
put me on blast. Okay.
I just tried to be a tried to help you out here, that's all.
Well, you get an update on stuff, and then things just go crazy, right? So, but yeah. Let's see. I can do some of that. Sure. Is everybody else? Do I sound okay to everyone else, or is it just Ginger? We'll see. We'll continue
Okay,
here.
okay, yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. Vanquish says this could be a all around my squatty potty. I'll be sold. Okay.
There we go.
Well, yeah, yeah. It looked like it was fun. I don't know if it would. I think it would be like a one time use.
Yeah, one type. Well, you know what? Hey, I guess, killing 2 birds, 1 stone, get a little bit of putt-putt practice in there, and, yeah, yeah. I mean, you've got good form, so it could help you with your, releasing of, some bowel
It
movements or
could.
what have you,
Yeah. So there you go. That's as seen on Cap. I'm gonna try to find some crazy products out there that are kind of funny and share them with the world because you never know. Someone might need something like that.
Oh,
And
did you see, whatchamacallit, Quarter Black's, show that he did with, Dave Liddell? It's called Weird
no, no.
Yeah, Normal World or something like that. Yeah, they've got a crazy product segmented there as well, but it's more like with food.
Okay.
Yeah, one of them happened to be from Japan. It was quite disturbing.
What was it?
Sonic curry, like
Sonic
curry, because
Curry.
curry's really big over here, right? So they have all kinds of different curry flavors that you can have. So this is basically a bowl of rice that it had like blue curry in it. It was the most disgusting. One of the most disgusting things I've ever seen. Yeah. But Japan's pretty good about providing you with some very strange products. I might have to do a search for you sometime.
Yeah, Japan is a little odd with the food. I remember last time we were on stream, you showed some stuff that they do over there, and they do have some weird food products.
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, there you go. That's your as seen on Cap.
Woohoo!
So now, so you again, you were one of the first people to do bad graphic design with me,
Oh yeah.
um, and those that segment has become pretty popular. I'm sure
Nice.
you've seen a lot of bad graphic design out in Japan,
Oh yeah.
for sure,
Oh, a fair bit of
and
it.
and let's see here. And so this time, I think last time we went over a lot of funny stuff, but this one's mostly about signage. So we're gonna get that kicked off here real quick. So 1 second.
Yeah,
So you like that music? You're just digging it.
yeah, I'm digging it.
Yeah, a lot of people do like that little tune there.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, the first one. I mean, this I'm just gonna show it. We'll see what it says here, because it's probably from your neck of a word. It's the best and delicious sushi rolls.
Oh boy. Good old acronyms. Is that what they're
So
called? Yeah, that would be an acronym, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
it's bad
Wow.
sushi.
Wow. I mean, I wonder how much I wonder if this is in Japan. I
Uh,
wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it at all.
you think this is in Japan?
It doesn't like the streets don't look Japanese. It doesn't because that white sign up there, that's more of like a stateside thing. But I could see this happening in Japan, definitely.
There is
Oh
looks
yeah.
like there's cherry blossom trees back
Oh, oh, could be, could be. I could be wrong.
Those are also in Washington D.C. So hey.
That's true.
But you know,
And
I would probably try this place just to see if it was just maybe it's like a play on words, right?
oh yeah,
You
oh
know,
yeah. Well, maybe that's the customer that they're the clientele they're looking for, like the ones that are just ready to tell you, like, "Oh, you know what? I'm gonna try anything. Yeah, give it to me. Try your best. I've got a stomach of steel." And then they could end up eating like people like that could eat a lot, so they'll have like one sushi, like, "Oh, this is delicious, actually," and
yeah.
then they'll eat like a ton of it. So it's great advertising. They've done their
Have
job.
you ever had a bad piece of sushi?
Knock on wood, no. Knock on wood, no. The first time I
Neither have
had
I.
sushi. Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, if you've got your sushi like, oh no, I've had bad sushi, but I've never had a bad piece that caused me to get sick or anything. But I've gone to one sushi restaurant that I can remember that I was like, "Ooh, this is not good." And it was in Japan, and it was kind of like a cheap place. Uh, and uh, yeah, but other than that, no, most of my experiences have been good. You know. But we
Okay.
do have we do have our level of, like, chain restaurants here, like the Kaiten Sushi, the ones that are on the conveyor belt.
Uh huh.
Um, and it's funny, like, the cheapest ones are, like, the ones for kids, like, they're all, like your sushi will come around to you, like, in a bullet train on this, like, conveyor belt. They've got all these games, and you can like, have the little quarter machine.
Yeah.
Like, if you eat so many plates, you put your plates into this, how would you say it? Like, to this hole, and then it counts up your plates. And after you put in so many plates, the machine will go off, and they'll play this little video of a game. And if you win, then like a ball comes out where you open it up and you get a prize. If you don't, then it has like, oh, you lose, kind of like video graphic. So that's like the cheapest ones, and then you have like your mid-range ones, which would be like a sushi madoka, and then you have
Okay.
your top tier ones, which is like your sushi tora, which has actually got a chain in Canada as well. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay. Well, look at this. Everyone, you've got sushi knowledge from the Jinja
exactly.
Ninja.
I don't know how useful it'll be for you, but
I
there you
enjoy
go.
some good sushi. So, like I said, I
Oh
haven't
yeah,
really had bad sushi, like
yeah, yeah,
that makes you sick.
yeah. I mean,
Um,
even like the what you call it, the convenience store sushi. It's still yeah, it's
Still
pretty
pretty
good.
good. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, well, did you, so you made a joke before you came on. To kind of relate, you said that you were a ginger, right? You kind of
right.
related to it. Like, did you know? And we're both light skinned fellows. Did you know we
Oh
like
yeah.
crackers? You didn't know us crackers love cheese?
Oh yeah, we love it. Oh, definitely. All kinds of cheese. We like Swiss cheese, Munster cheese, cheddar cheese, cheese, cheese sticks,
I mean,
grilled
cheese is pretty
cheese.
good.
Oh, cheese is great. It's the
Yeah.
staple. It's my staple diet.
What's your favorite cheese?
You put me on the spot. Probably provolone. No,
Okay.
I lied to you. Gorgonzola is my favorite cheese. Gorgonzola.
Really? I like a
Yes.
good pepper jack.
Oh, there, yeah, yeah. Pepper jack's nice too. I love some gorgonzola, and actually, my mother-in-law. I've got a story for everything that we. If you ask me
You
too much
do.
about
Like
cheese, yeah,
every bad graphic
yeah,
line comes with a story, and this is
I
fantastic.
know. You just tell me to shut up if you want to. But my mother-in-law, she's like, "Ooh, I want some stinky cheese." My mother-in-law is Japanese, of course,
Of
and
course, yeah.
so they went to Costco and they got her like there's like a box that comes with like gorgonzola too, like it's like crumpled gorgonzola. And then she took one bite of it and hated it, and that's just my favorite cheese in the world. So I got me a nice good old tub of it, and it's almost gone. I put it in everything,
Good job.
in my omelets, my salad, in my cereal, in my
You sound like what's that guy from Forrest Gump, Bubba?
that's what I was trying to do earlier. I like monster cheese. Yeah, what was it? Bubba Gump. Bubba.
Bubba. Yeah, yeah. Well, the next one, it's I mean, it's food, and it's from
Oh boy,
Vermont.
he's got a dripping problem. He needs to get that checked out.
You can get it. I mean, I did know that. I did know the state of Vermont sells maple syrup, but I guess I don't want it now.
I, maybe there's I don't want now that I know where their syrup comes from. Yeah, I'll be double thinking that.
Well, why
It'll
would
be.
they do this? Why would they
Uh,
make a picture like this?
I have no idea whatsoever. I mean, but you know what? If their cheese Also, the Vermont cheese comes from the same place. I don't think I wanna eat that either. That could be dangerous.
Beard says he likes a good hickory smoke.
Oh, yeah.
All right, very
Soda.
good.
Mm.
Well, it's funny because I know this is how you get maple syrup. You stick something into a tree and it drips out.
That
So I get what they were doing, but it didn't come off very well.
so they've stuck it in a different kind of wood, I guess.
Yeah, 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 yeah. When I first saw this picture, I had to do one of these.
Yeah, yeah.
Good old beard of liberty there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't know if I would like to buy maple syrup. But
Yeah,
whoever.
I'm gonna be avoiding that. But how does unlocking lore? I know that's oh my gosh.
Maria,
Yeah, sorry, I forget names. My bad.
you're good.
Uh, uh, I see they've got the Canadian seal on this poster here. Do you agree with what's going on in here? Would you approve of the Canadian sticker of approval on here?
Is that a Canadian sticker?
It looks like you got the maple leaf down there. And if it's a maple leaf, it's Canadian. I mean, that's just hand in hand.
Um,
You know what I mean?
maybe. But I mean, it does kind of look like a Canadian. She says totally sus.
Yeah, completely.
Like, yeah. Okay. Well, maybe. Well, it is Vermont. They're pretty close
Yeah, it's the same thing.
to Canada. Sorry for anyone who's watching Vermont. You can definitely tell us if you feel like you're in Canada or not. There you go. Sus. She does not like this poster apparently. So, well, now
I
when you,
I'd put it up.
okay, now when you were a kid, did you ever another sign here coming up?
Go for it.
Did you ever do like phone prank calls and like did you
Never,
do never?
never.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
I'm
this
shitting.
person made a business out of one.
Oh boy. Wow. I mean, that's probably something that sorry. They they might be able to use this kind of expertise in Thailand.
Yep, good old Mike there and his whistles.
Hey, so it whistles now, huh? Oh, there we go. I wonder what kind of tunes. Oh my. Exactly. The first tune.
Maybe it does something like this.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd be taking, this to a baseball game.
Yeah, I thought this. I was like, I never thought I would see one of my prank calls from back as childhood come to
There we
life
go.
here. So pretty funny.
Oh, wow. Number
Number
1
one UK supplier
UK
though.
supplier. There we go.
Yeah.
Apparently, this is a thing in the UK. I had no idea. I mean, I knew they were famous for bad teeth, but I didn't know that their, hmm, ladies had a whistling, um,
Yeah, yeah. Well,
talent as well
mm.
from, the
It
nether
says there is a joke I could make, but there are some lines even I won't cross. That's pretty funny. Well, there you go. You made it through
Wow,
another bad graphic
that's got
design.
me sweating.
Was it
Whew,
really?
and the AC's on as well. Oh boy,
So,
that last one
okay,
especially.
yeah, that was a little rough there. It's always amazes me. I've been doing this show for almost 40 episodes now, and how many that I can still find something out there that makes someone go either laugh or go oh my,
Oh
or
my.
just literally be speechless.
Yeah,
So it's great.
that's one of them.
We Yeah, we've done, I've done like, last week, we did book covers with Miss Martin Muse because she reviews books,
Right.
and we found some outrageous things. I've done album covers with some people. It There's a lot out there, so I don't think I'm going to drain the
Oh,
well
no,
easily.
no, and if you ever are in necessity of those, I could just go around the neighborhood for about 5 minutes, and I could give you about 20 pictures.
I think that'd be great, and one thing that's cool is, now that you say that, a lot of people have sent me some on Twitter. They have sent
Yeah.
me things they found in their own town or
Right,
just
right.
themselves looking on the internet. They have found me some stuff. So some of them are from people that have submitted them, and I do appreciate that. And I do appreciate all my little my all my fans out there who send me bad graphic lines. I think it's great.
Yeah.
fantastic.
Keep it coming.
Yeah. So, one thing I do want to mention here. Now, lately I've been pitching, kind of not pitching, just helping out a friend that started a new like an outdoor game that you can play with your family. So I'm gonna take a moment here to kind of share it. I'm just trying to get the word out that what they built, and they literally created this their own invention, and they're out there in the world. And they call this game the Sinko Game. I actually bought one myself.
Oh, really?
Um, yeah, yeah, it's fun. It's actually pretty big. I mean, it's like this
I
wide. You get like 4 people. So I'll go ahead and play this video real quick, and you can kind of see exactly what it is. It looks really fun. So
Are you
horse
games? Is this the only skill we have? Try something new. Introducing Sinko, a fast-paced and heart-pounding game for 4 players that can be played anywhere. Using the handles, tilt the board to move the ball. Sink the ball in the correct hole to score a point. Stop playing tired old tossing games and join a new evolution of yard games.
there you go. So it's
Huh.
a yeah. So it's a game that you hold, and then you have 4 people, and you rock it back and forth. And so like, let's say you have 4 people. I'm red, you're blue, green, all the other
Right,
colors.
right, right.
You got to try to get the ball in your colors, and then if you score off of that, right? So that's how you play the game.
Oh, there you go.
And
Cool.
it can be very competitive.
Nice.
So if
I
you do want to check out that game, I definitely recommend it. Like I said, I'm gonna try to play it. I just got it in the mail the other day. It literally just came out, and they're good friends of mine. So I said, you know what? I have a YouTube channel. I can
yeah, why?
try
Yeah, promote it on there.
it. So
I
but
I thought at first you were going to say there's a new yard game or a new like outdoors game for families, and I thought at first that you were gonna like do some kind of like a funny one again. And I was like, oh, is this gonna be like blindfolded yard darts? That'd be cool.
oh no 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 no! It's a that would be interesting. No, it's not a it's an actual it's a real thing. So no.
Cool.
Good thing you reminded me, JT. I need to order one. Great people make it. Yeah, so exactly. Great fun people. They now I'm in Texas now. They live in Arizona. So but yeah, it came here pretty quick. Got here in like a couple of days. So yeah, go ahead and try it out. It should be fun.
Nice.
Look who popped in. Joker, good to see you.
Yeah, Joker's voice.
Yeah, he's doing some cool stuff too, with his channel. But
Yeah,
yeah.
it's cool because like you know, with like I've been on a lot more streams within the like again, you helped start like I'm pretty sure you're one of the first ones I was on, if not the first one. I'm just trying to
Well, that's
remember
awesome.
like I really can't I want to say that it was you that was the first person that had me on. I don't know.
It might have been. I don't.
Yeah,
It could have been. Yeah, you could
it's
have
just so
been.
much. Yeah, it's happened.
You've done a lot in the last year. So yeah, you could have been.
Yeah.
I could have been. You could have been the. You you were one of my first guests, and then you could. This could have been your
Aw,
first live show. It's
aw.
always cool. I've always liked you. You're very kind. You're very cool. You do great work. So always like to
I try my
promote your
best.
stuff. So yeah. Now, but we do have what we call a are you afraid of spiders at all?
Not really. Uh, I because over here we got some really nice. I mean, you're in Texas, right?
Yeah, I've recently have come across multiple species of
Yeah,
spiders.
we've got the Japanese house spiders, or yeah, they can get about as big as sometimes
Really?
close to the size of your hand.
Well,
I mean,
this video I'm about to show
probably
you
about that big.
might
Yeah.
actually be from Japan then.
Uh,
So, prepare yourself, everybody, if you don't like spiders. I really don't like spiders either, and you can ask my wife that because I literally screamed the other night. I saw one. But this guy's on the
yeah.
wall here, and is this look like one of those Japanese?
Let's get a close up there. Ooh. No, that's a bit bigger than. Well, it's got a lot more going on with it there.
Yeah, I think this actually is from maybe Australia or something.
Yeah, yeah, that's a creepy looking one.
That's like a bird spider, maybe Brazil. I know the Brazil's banana spiders are pretty big.
Yeah. Ugh. That's
Yeah.
yeah. That's a. I almost want to say it looks like it's like animatronics. You know what I mean?
It almost looks fake, right? It
Yeah.
does, but,
Yeah.
it's not.
Well, the first whenever I first moved here, this was back in 2002. I've been here for about 21 years now. I had no idea what like I didn't do my research at all before I came here. It's like what kind of oh there we go. We got a confirmation. It's Australia.
Yeah, R2 says
Um,
it's from Australia.
well, everything in Australia is trying to kill you.
Yeah, and you're pretty close.
Yep, yep. But we they've got some big house spiders here, and and the first place I moved into was an old Japanese house. I didn't have a bed. I slept on the floor. Had my storm that I would put out every night, and I had no idea that what kind of wildlife there was in my area, what the what kind of bugs or poisonous things there were. I just came over here, and it was one of the first nights I was there. I moved here during the summertime, and I was sleeping at night. We have the tatami floor, and something fell on the floor next to me, and it made a noise that woke me up. And I turned on the light, and there was a spider, almost like basically like three quarters the size of my hand, right next to me.
You're really freaking out Joker right
Oh,
now.
dude, and it freaked the yeah, well, it freaked me out, and without even thinking, I just picked up something, like I think I had a book at the time, and just whacked it because I didn't know what was gonna happen, and then I went to the office the next day, and I told 'em what happened. They're like, "Oh, no, 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 don't do that. Don't kill spiders at night. It's a very, very bad luck over here." They have a superstition, don't kill spiders at night, and
Really?
for most part, just don't kill spiders because
What do you
there's
just,
not
like,
really any
shoo 'em
yeah, you
out or
just go
something?
shoo, 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 yeah. There aren't any poisonous spiders over here that I know of. Now I know that they found like a invasive species of like a maybe like a somehow a black widow or whatever got over here on like a boat or whatever, but yeah, nothing of the poisonous types.
Okay. Well,
And
when you
if you
say
yeah.
I think I'm gonna do this.
If you would have seen that one that was next to me, yeah, you would have brought out the shield, pistol, a spear, harpoon,
Yeah,
anything.
I'm gonna take a trip to Japan, and I would literally
Send
be
us
like,
the poster.
Clenching my butthole in fear all week.
yeah, I
The
think that would no, no.
the things over here that like those spiders. I've got a story for everything. So
You do.
if you go to a cow farm here, I think I saw you post like a black and yellow spider somewhere on Twitter or something.
Say, yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
that
So
was
those
he's literally around this,
we
you
got
know,
tons of those over here.
they're like a garden spider or something like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, yeah. But they also have we have like sumo over here. A place close where I'm at. It's called it's a place called Kajiki, and they have two spiders, and they train them to fight each other, and they have like sumo fights. And the
What?
ones that pushes the spider off of they have like a little stick, and the one that pushes the other one off is the winner. And they have these big tournaments over here for that.
You make a lot of money with that?
Nah, 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 nah. It's more like probably just like a drinking game. I think. There is an award, I imagine, but also if you go to like to the cow farms to stop like a whole bunch of flies and stuff getting in, if you look, there are just cobwebs all over the stables with these big spiders in them, and that's what
But
they use.
they're not venomous, they're just regular
No, 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 not venomous at all. No, no.
Hmm. Joker says in Japan still has dragons. Are they going to protect me?
Well, it depends on what kind of dragon you're talking about. I'm
Uh,
sorry. You showed me the whistling yeah, the whistling lady. So now my head's in the gutter.
it's okay. So we do have a those are some great stories, and you might have some more stories about this next topic. Now,
All right.
usually we always cover now a main topic of the show, and I pick something kind of fascinating that's out there that most people maybe not may not be aware of. It could be a history thing. It could be some crazy story.
Uh-huh.
But the backstory of this is kind of funny. Now I
Ooh,
would assume this is the most famous hat in the world, and that's
right.
Lincoln's top hat.
Yeah.
Now, the reason why this topic has came up is because I've had some discussions with my family that whenever you look up Lincoln, you when you think Lincoln in your head, you think his top hat, right? That
Right.
may he's always wearing it, right?
Right.
However, when you Google search him or do anything like that, there isn't a lot of photos with him in the hat,
Hmm.
because he never really took photos in the hat, or he would never really when it was more of a gimmick. Wasn't really like when he did speeches and things like that. He would. So we're gonna go into all that, but and the
Ooh.
history of his hat and like why he chose to wear it and sort of. I thought it was just an interesting topic to
Huh.
kind of go over. Um, so like I mean, this is one of our greatest presidents ever, right? I would say at least not
Mhm.
the best, right? What do you think?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm the kind of person that's like, hey, a lot of stuff gets stories made
Yeah,
afterwards,
yeah.
and then,
Well,
I mean,
I mean, he's
but for the image of America, yes, he would be like a great president. If you got on somebody like Razor Fist, he would completely disagree with you.
probably, but
But yeah, yeah,
he did combine he brought our country back together. But he
right.
was one of the tallest. He was 6'4",
Mm.
or the tallest president. Did you know that? Did you know he was 6'4"?
Yeah, I knew he was a tall guy. Yeah, he was
Yeah.
up from Illinois, so
Yeah.
get
So
your
he
tall
would,
boys up.
obviously tower over people then. He would tower over people today. So when he wore the hat, it literally made him a little bit more taller. He would stand
Right,
out of the crowd. Um So he wore this hat, he did wear it, just not as often as most people think. He wore it around in peacetime and wartime, and occasionally formal informer. He also wore it the night he was assassinated. He just didn't have it on.
mm,
So yeah, um, basically you can find this hat. One of them is in the Smithsonian. Likely it's a descendant from some 17th century steeple hat, like or a sugar loaf, or most people in the 18th century or the 17th had these type of hats. Kind of see them all about. You don't really see top hats anymore, really,
yeah, it's a
as far
shame.
as the fashion sense. It's more of a kind of a gag, right? Kind of a funny thing.
Yeah,
Um, Now, like I said, it did get some popular in the 1800s. There was books about it. It became an impressive symbol of prestige. So, like, if you were a politician or if you were a cool YouTuber, right back then, you had a top hat.
wow.
uh, so, but yeah, if you were some type of prestige it was symbolic. So, if you had a top hat in the 1800s, you were considered okay. You're pretty well known, like especially if it was a nice looking one.
Right, right.
Were a good. Um, Not really like I've seen some top hats where you have cat in the hat. Nothing like that. This was solid
Yeah,
black.
something
Right.
not excessively tall, but somewhere,
Yeah.
they gave you just a, you know
Right. So basically, nowadays, envisioning Lincoln without a hat is really hard. But how he began wearing it remains unclear. Some people say historians that he did it just as a gimmick during his political run. In those days, he really was seen without his hat. He traditionally seven or made him. It was either 7 or 8 inches high. So obviously, it made him a lot taller if he was 6'4". There's a good photo of him standing next to there in the Civil War. Look how tall he is, right? He kind of like stood out. So Lincoln's vision was often graded a bit as if hat worn affection perhaps intended to suit his frontier image. So he also when he wore it, he didn't like always wear a fresh new one. It was either torn or weathered,
Right,
anything like that.
right.
So it was like something to call back to his time in Indiana, right? When he was out there doing the frontier life. Um, I guess one of the first times Carl Search first met him with Lincoln in the railroad car in 1850s on the on the way to one of the future president's debates with Stephen Douglas. Search described Lincoln's tailcoat, so his jacket, as a shabby and his top hat as crumbled. So he looked kind of disheveled. He was kind of a disheveled looking person. So even though it was like a prestige thing that he wore, he was just kind of looked kinda messy when he wore it. Um, he just kinda like this yeah, that's could you imagine right now if a president was, like, walking around and they're usually kind of well taken care of, or they're kind of dressed up nice, or
Yeah, I
politicians are
mean,
really sharp to the nine, right? They're not really disheveled.
well, I mean, yeah, like, well, that does kind of bring up, look at the, what's his name from, the Ukraine, Ka Kaczynski?
Yeah,
Kaczynski?
he
What's
doesn't
his name?
really wear a lot of
And that's
suits and
done
everything.
on purpose, though, in my opinion. It's to show
It
that,
is
like, he said,
most likely, yeah,
"Oh, I'm in such dire straits. Help me. All I got is money for street clothes.
yeah.
Another
This is a little
$1,000,000,
different.
please."
He still wore his suit, but it was more of
Right, right.
a disheveled looking, worn, like
Well, it gave you
vintage
the
stuff.
sense of being, like, a working man, and that's what he was
Mhm.
known for being a hard worker, and, uh,
Yep.
like, I grew up in Indiana as well. Grew up in North Carolina and Indiana, half and half, and we were actually pretty close to Lincoln State Park, or Lincoln State what was it? Lincoln State Park or Lincoln State Memorial? I can't remember which one it was, but there was, like, their place where you could go, had, like, all the old time feel to it, like, "Ooh, this is where Lincoln grew up," and, um
Oh, cool.
yeah, yeah. I remember always like because we got the coins from there, and when I was a little
Mhm.
kid, we went
Did you
there
buy a
a couple
top
times.
hat?
I was tempted, but, too
That's
bad
the
I
thing there. He's always yeah.
yeah.
He's
When I
always
put it on, it just went right down to my nose.
oh, okay. Well, must have been too big for you. So when Lincoln gave his one of his famous speeches at the Cooper Institute in New York, some observers were quoted as saying that his hat looked bashed in, like someone broke it in the top there. But this is unlikely, as the photographer Harold Harzer point out that Lincoln, that very day of his speech, bought a new hat. So this time he bought a new hat, but some people said he was wearing kind of it like maybe he crumpled it, maybe he bought a new one and kind of roughed it up a little bit. No one really knows what type of hat he really wore or like what um, when he wore it. But if you notice in this drawing, this is another artist rendition of that speech. A lot of the top hats are in the crowd and they're holding it right or they're wearing it. But if you see Lincoln in the middle there, he's not. So
Ah,
he never wore it during speeches or he just he kind of wore it like going to a speech or going to an
mm,
event.
maybe it was a
Um,
matter of etiquette for him, I don't know.
yeah, it probably was. There's that manners, right, where you always take your hat off when you go inside or you do something. There's that type of thing that people used to do. But apparently,
Yeah,
yeah. So he gave this, he gave it. He always wore the hat though in the crowd to look like he stood over everyone else. So you can literally
right.
say, okay, that's Lincoln. There he is. But he really didn't. Like I said, seems like he mostly wore it to stand out or
It
kind
w
of
it
yeah,
it was his form of peacocking.
exactly. Yeah,
Yeah,
you were absolutely right. So some people, we
yeah,
have a beard or you have
yeah,
curly hair with your beard, or you know,
or
people
or you
acknowledge you of what you look like, and that's
or where you wear your pants where your underwear shows, saggy pants, you know?
sure, sure, yeah, we can do that.
Or now you get those big rings in your
Mhm,
when
yeah.
you gotta do something to make yourself look unique.
So
Whoa, nice
yeah, so
illustration.
yeah, so some people started picking up on this that he was wearing this hat. So Lincoln's top hats were not always of the same design. At first inauguration in 1860, he wore the lower silk plush. So he had different styles of hats. Um, by the start of the second term in 1864, he was again wearing the stovepipe one. Um, and a style that would continue for a decade or more after his assassination. So a lot of people wore those type of hats. Lincoln
Oh,
stovetop made him an easy mark for a characterist, and many drawings have survived in which the hat is in the viewer. So there's some examples of an artist drawing of Lincoln and his hat.
wow. I can honestly say I've never done a picture of Lincoln. I don't think I have I? No, I can't remember of ever doing a drawing of Lincoln. That's something I might have to remedy.
Yeah, maybe you can throw in the hat or
Yeah,
not the hat.
I would
So
throw in the hat.
yeah, so but before we continue but cartoonists weren't the only ones that had the ones who found it easy to spot him with his hat. So like you can imagine you can spot him in the crowd, but it seems like cartoonists really picked up on it. Especially back then, there wasn't really photos of presidents and gifts and like memes, right?
No memes. Yeah,
These are kind of the memes of the day, right?
right.
People would do.
Well,
drawings
cartoonists
of
were the original memers.
correct, and they would make fun
Satire.
of
Yeah.
they would make fun
Yep.
of people. So that again, that's what they would do here. They would kind of make sure the hat was included, even though he maybe wasn't wearing it at the time
Mhm.
whenever they saw him. So you did see a lot of it. Now, like I said, it did make him stand out a lot in the crowd. So during the Civil War, so in August of 1864, Lincoln was on horseback on his way to the soldiers' home about 3 miles northeast of the White House, where he had the use of a stone cottage in the summer months. Um, a would-be assassin fired from the near road, shooting the stovetop pipe hat off Lincoln's head. Soldiers who found it said there was a bullet hole through the crown. This incident gave rise to the popular notion that the hat saved Lincoln's life. So he was almost assassinated on that day. Kind of a warning sign, right?
Right, right.
But it the hat saved him because it went through, the brim there. That's pretty and
That's
I
crazy.
mean,
I hadn't heard that
ye
story.
yeah, it's pretty interesting, right? And, again, if you see this picture drawn here, he's got his hat, he's on a horse, so he's already 6'4", he's on a horse, and then you see this under 7-inch. You could definitely find him on a battlefield.
Yeah, it's something that, like, maybe his advisor didn't do his job well. It's like, "Hey, you know what? Maybe you might wanna not stand out so much if you're going to a
Yeah,
war zone."
yeah. And it's
Yeah.
and there was a it's they didn't really say it here in this, article that I, got some of this information from, but, there were some people. They didn't really have Secret Service back in the day, but the
Mm.
people who were around him, um, weren't too fond of him wearing that hat because,
Right. Of
he
course.
stood out. So, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
sure
like him
nowadays
putting on a yeah.
yeah, I'm
It's like
sure
a president
nowadays
going around nowadays with, like, a siren on their head, you know?
yeah, they don't do that, right? They don't stand out too much.
Right.
If you ever seen a president, um, motorcade, they're literally locked and tied in that thing. They don't really out in the open. I think if they do go out in the open, there's people watching them, so
Oh,
it's
yeah.
very, very hard, for anyone to do anything. Um, so the better surmise is that the hat made Lincoln easy to spot in the crowd. In the early 1864, at the Battle of Fort Stevens, he stood out in the battlements wearing his trademark hat, making him, in the Kyle Sandburg's phrase, too tall a
Mm.
too tall a target for the Confederates. So, until warned by a Union officer to get down. So he just stood out. Look, I'm here.
Yeah,
Try
what you
your
gonna do
best.
about it?
Yeah, and he made, like I said, that leads to that other story I mentioned where they were a little nervous that he wore it.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of the scene from 1989 Batman where Joker's just standing in the middle of the road. "Come on, come on."
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is
Yeah.
exactly right. So on the night that he died, he did dress in the theater in the silk top hat. He had the 7-inch one, from the Washington hat maker, J.W. J.Y. Davis, to which he had added a black silk, mourning band in memory of his son. So his son passed away pretty right around that time. So when Lincoln was shot, the hat was on the floor beside his chair. So he took the
Should
hat
have had it
off,
up. Yeah,
yeah, and set it down. Mhm.
could have saved him. Now,
And
why is John Wilkes Booth jumping out there with a knife in his hand? I've never heard about this.
is that a great picture?
Yeah,
So this is another artist rendition of what happened at the time. So,
it just looks like Lincoln's got a headache there. Oh, man, my head.
again, there was no video, no photo really, and people weren't just randomly taking pictures of everybody. This is what they thought when people describe the event. This is the artist rendition. I thought you would get a kick out of these little drawings.
Yeah, yeah. This is crazy because I guess this must have happened just right the guy drew it, like, right afterwards because obviously he got the wrong, you know, m information, word of mouth,
Mhm.
rumors kinda, like, came to or maybe this is actually what really happened
Yeah,
and
maybe it
everything
was.
else was a lie.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I like the guy down
Maybe
at
it
the
was a
bottom. He's just like
maybe
looks
it
like
was in a
he's cheering on. Maybe I
yeah,
don't know.
yeah. "Hey, who stopped my song?" Or maybe the guy with the flute shot a little dart at him. I don't know, that's what it looks like.
Yeah, maybe. No other president is so firmly connected to our imaginations with an item. I would believe that's true.
Hmm.
Lincoln alone is remembered for what he
Yeah.
wore. Hats were important to Lincoln. They protected him against insolent weather, served as a storage bins for important papers he stuck inside their lining, and further, yeah, great height advantage over other men. So he looked towering already, but it was like another way of saying, "Here I come. You're going to be
Yeah.
intimidated by me."
Right.
Lincoln's taste for hats also gave us the remarkable, durable image of our most remarkable president. Lincoln remains a giant in our memories and looms even taller. So, like,
Stovepipe hat. Hmm.
yeah, stovepipe hat. Yeah, there you go. There's some Lincolns with their hat.
Yeah, that guy from the right, the second from the right, he's a pretty tall fella there.
I would assume that's probably what Lincoln looked like, right? He was very
Yeah, yeah.
tall, very lanky, and he had this extra hat that.
It's what I grew up in Indiana, right? In southern Indiana, and my aunt and uncle lived in a house that used to be a hotel, and
Okay.
apparently, I believe Lincoln stayed there.
Wow.
And this is I remember them telling me that when I was a kid that like there was a lot of famous like it was a pretty like on the high end of the hotel. It was a really really nice house. Um, and yeah, but my uncle who lived there, he looked like Lincoln. He was like a shorter version of him, but it looked just like him. And he just so happened to be a history teacher himself. Died, I
Okay.
think, passed away when he was like 91 years old, and he was still working as a substitute history teacher.
Wow.
There you go.
That's pretty cool.
Got a little
That's
story for
really.
you about everything,
You
JT.
do.
Yeah.
So, there you go. That's the main topic of the night was the
I
pipe
would
hat.
say if we're speaking about hats, another person whose hat image of him in a hat would be iconic would be Napoleon.
Yes, you're right. Yeah.
Yeah,
He just wasn't a US president.
he tried.
So,
Tried to be
so
one. Yes.
I mentioned, not many presidents have like a thing about them, right? Lincoln's hat.
Right.
You have Trump's hair.
Trump's
Um,
here, yeah.
would there be any other presidents that you can think of that had something that you would connect them?
Um, well, I mean, you would say George Washington is his false teeth.
Okay, yeah.
People might talk about
But do
that.
you
Let's see.
always, when you draw George Washington, do you always make sure you
No, no,
draw
no, no, you
false
wouldn't do that.
teeth?
I mean, his hair, like his wigs, you would
Yeah.
say like the wigs back then. Yeah. Iconical. Wow, you put me on the spot. Oh, monocle.
Okay.
Maybe Theodore Roosevelt with
Yep.
his
Yeah,
get up.
maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. Trying to
Well,
think of other people.
well, there you go. It was, I
Yeah.
thought a very fascinating story about his hat and
Yeah. I
why
never.
he wore it and the reason for it. The one thing though that's really fascinating, if you do a Google search and look for Lincoln, there's not a whole lot of pictures with him of him in a hat. There's drawing renditions. There's
It
faked photos.
it
It's not.
seems to me like he was wearing it more so as outside of like the venues or something where like you could see him in big crowds, but whenever it came to like something that was more like, okay, he's on stage, you could see him as who he is, right? Just by himself,
Mhm.
then he was taking it off.
Yeah,
Maybe.
calf and his girth is
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
says here, calf and his girth.
Girth is
Yeah,
a
that
good
can
word.
work. Let's see here. I had an axe that once belonged to Abraham Lincoln. The head was replaced once at and the handle twice, but I got documented proof it belonged. That's pretty cool. That's pretty neat. So that's pretty cool.
Doing the math here.
What?
Well, if the axe head got replaced and then the handle twice, then is it really the original axe anymore?
Maybe there's a sliver of wood in there. Why you
There we go.
gotta? I mean, don't.
I know.
I
Why do I gotta
mean.
dump on him? Yeah, I know.
Let's
It's
see.
almost like that
Was
question. It's like, is it really you? You're shedding your cells, all like your skin folds, your cells are being replaced all the time. Is this actually you anymore? Not, you know. Hey, see, oh yeah, see, it was a joke, JT. Yeah, I got it. There
Oh,
you
it
go.
was a joke. Okay.
Yeah, because it's not really, you know.
Yeah, I'm used to his dad jokes, and then he comes in with that. So, I mean, I guess that would be a dad. Well, there you go. Link
It
in the
is.
top hat. Very cool. Yeah, check it out.
Rest in peace. Rest in
Yeah,
peace.
rest in peace, Lincoln. So another cool thing we do. Now, are you a big fan of Bigfoot?
Oh yeah, yeah. Like I've got big feet myself, so
I can't end the show. I know we ran a little late, and we're gonna go a little over here, but of the hour.
oh
But
yeah, that's
I
fine.
can't I can't end the show without doing talking about some type of uh Bigfoot related. So I've been fascinated with this Instagram account that's been really good at showing oddly painted
Ooh,
photos or pictures. This is Mark O Mark Rogers art. Mark Rogers art on Instagram. He posts a lot of interesting things. So this is a picture of two big, I guess a big feet, right?
yes.
And according to this, this is an oil painting. According to this oil painting, 9 of 9 apparently. Um, this these are newlywed Bigfoot couple, and they have names. Looks like Sharda, Moondrew, and Apple Bear Stone Tree.
I'm gonna blow this up. Weird.
Combine their mystic and primal energies and open a portal into the ancient past. There, during the late Cretaceous area, they would build a nest out of sticks and rocks and leaves, and I guess the lady would lay many Sasquatch eggs. So, did you know Sasquatch lay eggs?
Yeah, I did not know that.
And
I like
there's David the gnome down there hanging
yeah, I
out.
like how their counterparts there are there, like the biggest of the big and the smallest of the small.
So, this always this th this I'm speechless every time I pop up on this Instagram account
Yeah,
because
this is weird, but actually quite done very well. I like the color palette.
there's a dinosaur that they apparently hang out
Yeah,
with. I like how
just
the
chilling while the
volcanoes
world's well, yeah, and the world's ending. What am I gonna do?
volcanoes
Oh,
keep
that leaf looks
spitting
good.
and then, yeah, like I said, there's this weird
What the
little
heck? And
skeleton,
Mark Roger needs to lay off the ayahuasca. Is that what it is? Ayahuasca?
yeah, and you got David the gnome, there, hanging out, and then this is I think this is Apple Bear Stone Tree with his, I guess it would be a, headband with antlers, yeah,
Yeah, this is like 665, a man of war. You
and
ever
then
met
we've
him?
got yeah, there's
Yeah.
Moondrew, there you go,
Oh,
her
she's cute.
headband, oh,
She's got her moon crescent thing going on there.
she
Kinda looks
does,
like a yeah.
but yeah,
Wow.
there's the full painting there,
Oh, that's his signature down there at the bottom.
mhm,
M. On the bottom right underneath the rock is his signature.
yes, he
Yeah.
like I said, he posts some interesting stuff, he paints these really well,
Yeah, dude, actually, I really like the color palette and like the, uh, the the composition and the layout is actually quite interesting.
yeah, yeah, so there you
Yeah.
go, so if you want to follow him, you can, but, he's,
Support him, buy his stuff.
yeah, yeah. Actually, I don't know why my main account there you go, I followed him, there you go, see everyone? I followed him.
I was not on things I was expecting to see today, that would have probably been close to the last of the list.
Really?
Yeah, I had no idea I
Not
was going to see that kind of picture.
Not Mike Hunt's whistles?
Oh, well, that one, that was kinda that would be above, of, like 2 big feet, combining their mental powers to open up a portal to Dinosaur Land. Yeah, I think that would be above it,
Yeah,
slightly.
there was a painting that we showed from the very same person last week where, it showed how Bigfoot disguises himself in our world. So,
Does
basically
he wears a top hat?
no, he shape shifts into a human,
Ah,
but his male pattern baldness stays with him.
okay, I gotcha. So he does like kind of like a Mission Impossible thing, rips off the face.
Yeah,
Bah, it
like
was
if you
me.
notice in that painting, Bigfoot has a very long forehead, and then his hair
Right.
short. So when he became a human, he still had that, plus the like really like rigid teeth. And they had this little. They wear this little amulet where they can do that.
Ooh,
Yeah.
that that seems like it's stretching the Bigfoot myth just a little farther than it was used
It's
to
a
be.
fascinating account.
Yeah.
Really
Hey.
is. I might literally do a full segment on all his posts because it is literally fascinating stuff.
Now
Uh,
think about 1,000 years from now when people find paintings of that up on a wall somewhere. They're like, "What was this
or
animal? How did it
Goodwill
exist?"
somewhere.
I was actually listening to
Wow.
wow, wow, a podcaster. He interviews a lot of astrophysicists and things along that sort. Uh, he interviewed a person who they found out like that the cave the wall paintings, in France and a lot of Europe, that they actually were some of the first evidence of scientific procedures. And now they're going to try to use AI to figure out exactly what the language was of all, because they found like these dot sequences and things on there. Crazy stuff.
Wow.
Sorry. Yeah.
I guess
Kind of a
that would be kind of a cool thing to use AI for.
Yeah, yeah. Like oh dude, I just got right before the stream started, I was listening to the the same podcaster who was interviewed a guy about AI, and it was very defeating. It wasn't yeah, I could go on a complete tangent about that, but yeah,
Yeah, me
it was a
too.
bit defeating.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. There's a lot
yeah.
of interesting things, cool things that we can probably use AI for, and then things that we probably
Yeah,
shouldn't.
you probably just shouldn't use it for.
Exactly.
But
Um,
Marvel decided they were gonna use it for, the opening of, right?
I saw that, and that's too bad
Yeah.
because I know for sure that takes a lot of work away from people.
Well, and another thing, it doesn't it
Weird.
looks artificial, it looks weird, like somebody was observing us and then interpreting what our world was like through their lens.
Maybe they did it on purpose because that show looks very weird.
Yeah,
Um,
I don't know.
but we're kind of here over the hour, and it was great talking to you again. I know you're a
Oh,
busy
same here.
person, so I appreciate you the time. Nice Harry Potter mug, by the way.
Oh, yes, got it at the thrift store here. I'm a Slytherin guy myself, but all they had was Gryffindor, but I like Gryffindor as well, but we're getting to Slytherin.
Um, but yeah, it's been great having you on. Again, if you want to follow him on Twitter, you can there, and even Instagram. Find him at Jinja Ninja.
And I got a
Uh,
YouTube channel as well if you wanna
Yes,
check
he
that
does
out.
have a YouTube channel there. I have it. I put it in the chat there earlier, but all his stuff's in the description. You can check him out then. And then, like I said, your past year, I'm sure you're going to do even greater stuff going forward in the next following year. I'm looking forward, and I hope you do make that trip out to Boston. I think that would
Yes,
be
yes.
great.
Yep.
And yeah, and I mean, maybe if I time it, maybe I can meet you out there. That would be kind of
Well,
cool.
yeah, what my goal is to try to not just do 1, but try to do 2 or 3 in the same, time period if possible. This time around, I don't think that's gonna be a possibility, but in the future. So I would
Yeah.
like to do, like, something where I go to Dallas or Texas one, and then I head over to Florida, and then maybe something over on the
Well,
West Coast.
if you ever get to a one in Dallas, that's a little closer for me.
Yeah, yeah. I'll do my best.
It's okay. If let me know when you're in the States, I will see what I can
Will
do.
do,
But
man. Definitely. It's
um
been
again, it's been fantastic. And thanks again for coming out. And everyone else out in the chat, thanks for hanging out. I know there was some crazy stuff like always. So if you want more of that, you can definitely hit the subscribe button. I'm always here, or usually always here on Wednesday night with Late Night with Cap. You can also find me over there at After the Weekend, where I do movie reviews with our two of our childhood. So those are always fun. Those are on Monday nights. You can find me there. Now, is there anything last words you want to say to everybody in the chat there, James?
Well, yeah, just thank you everybody for stopping by. And thank you again, JT, for having me on. And yeah, if you guys are all interested in seeing me do some live artwork, I do live art streams every Sunday morning stateside, Sunday evening Japan side. I've got a couple guys that come over there. We always talk, entertainment, comics, and stuff, while I doodle at my pictures over here.
They're
Be on the
great
lookout.
streams.
Oh,
They're great
thank you.
streams because you
Yeah,
have some guests. You have Eric on there with you, and
yeah.
they're really good at keeping the conversation going while you're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
some.
It's. I mean, I used to whenever I do live streams by myself, solo, I could do it, but it's so much easier if I got some people who are talking. It allows me to concentrate on my work a little bit more. But yeah, Makini Draw comes over there. Bandito, Wakizashi sometimes. Mr. Grant Gregory will show up every once in a while. We've got a couple of appearances by Sporking in the past. So
Wow.
yeah,
Well,
yeah.
I don't. I guess I'm now Central Time Zone, so maybe I'm a little better at. I can probably time it. To where
Yeah, yeah, like you're always welcome.
Okay.
Yeah, anybody's always welcome
When I
to.
was in Arizona, it used to be a little too early for me. It was like almost
Yeah,
like
I've
6 o'clock
tried
in
to
the morning.
start it a little bit later my time, which would give people. The problem is, some people go to church on Sunday mornings, but it's a time slot where there's not like a whole lot of other YouTubers who are doing things. So, and it's good for me. It's Sunday night, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's kind of
Yeah.
the end
It's
of my week.
morning now, but it's right.
Yeah, it's almost 12 o'clock in the afternoon here. Yeah.
We'll go have some lunch.
All right.
And again, I'll talk to you later. And everyone, thanks again for
Yeah.
coming on.
Thank you.
And we'll see you later. Late night with
Take
Cap.
care.